day one of prepare for your most magnetic business year yet. I know Melissa is excited about this. She was just telling me about it, about how excited she is about 2026, right, Melissa?
Yes, I'm super excited. I'm all for 2026 and the energy that comes with it. So,
Amazing, amazing. So it's not just because we're setting goals for 2026, but also because you're doing it with intention and clarity and strategy. So it's not only like, oh, my goals, I want to get this done. It's more about doing it with intention and being very clear on like what you want your next year to be like. And today we're starting with probably one of the most powerful business practices, let's say, that we all tend to skip, which is, and I do as well. It's something that I have to force myself to do better. It's about reflecting on 2025, reflecting on the year that is ending before we plan the next one. Because if we don't reflect, like we don't know where we're going, right? So I um I like to say that our reflection is the foundation for our growth, right? So before we even start planning 2026, we need to understand like the path that brought us here, right? What we did right and what we did wrong, or maybe not as well. So we're gonna use this reflection as more like data, like insight, right? Our strategy. Um, we all tend, I don't know, I do that a lot. I have a list of things to do, and then I go like, oh, I finished this, I did this, what's next? Right? And then we tend to um, like not even think about the good things that happened or the things that didn't work really well, right? So it's kind of important to take that moment to gain clarity, right? To is the reflection that is going to sharpen our direction and show us where we need to go, right? So we are more aligned, right? Instead of like, oh, whatever is going to happen in January, right? No, we're gonna use the reflection as the GPS for our growth. Does it sound good? It's gonna be our GPS, and I need GPS. There are probably about 5 places I can get to without using a GPS, like in real life, real directions. So I know what it's like. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna work on is we're gonna celebrate our wins. And it doesn't have to be huge wins. It could be any little win that you feel like should be celebrated, right? Why is it important to acknowledge the wins? Because that's what is going to reinforce. We need that little bit of like reinforcement of our confidence, right? And our identity of being successful. We tend to forget this. Like great things, like I had the most amazing year. I'm so excited about 2025 and what is about to, to come in 2026. But remembering to celebrate what I was able to do, the opportunities I got, it just gives me more confidence, right? And gives you that excitement like, oh, I'll look at all the great things that happened. So I want to continue. I want to get more of those great things, right? So it reinforces that. And that's really powerful, right? It's really powerful. And some of the wins that you have, they might be smaller and quiet or internal. A lot of like, I feel that this year was a lot of like, evolving and kind of being more clear on my brand and what I stand for. I think this year was big on the things that I stand for and how I want to use my brand to create impact. Because we all talk about, creating impact and wanting the world a better place, but then sometimes we kind of hide, the our beliefs and values because we want to fit in or we want other people to like us and all this, and we think, oh, if I say this, people might not like me anymore, right? So it's like, but that's my, those are my beliefs. I'm gonna use my brand for that. So for me, this year was huge on just, speaking out and telling people what I stand for, what my brand stands for, and what I want to change, right? And so for me, that was huge. So I'm celebrating that. I'm celebrating not staying quiet, and doing my part. So, and I think that really gives me the power to like, okay, this is where I stand, and then I've been inspiring people, by using my voice. Like I get messages from friends and like, oh my God, you inspired me to do this. And I was like, oh, the it's all about the effect the ripple effect, right? Like getting people to feel inspired to also do good, right? So for me, that was the biggest thing. And when it comes to my brand and my business, having, for example, being able to travel and do photography while traveling, being able to combine those two things, that was huge. So that's another thing that I'm celebrating. Would you like to tell me one thing that you're celebrating, a win or something that you're celebrating in 2025?
I think I'm celebrating just the more confidence that I have, like putting myself out there, walking into rooms that I'm not familiar with is a big thing for me. So I did it more this year, and I think that's a win for me. Just being able to put the fear aside, right, and walk in and just see where it takes me.
Yeah. And that's beautiful, right? It gives you that power, like, okay, I'm confident in where I am, and what I'm doing,
Yeah,
and it's just so powerful. And it helps you so much with the planning and then in where what you want to become, who you want to become.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing for me that I definitely need to work on.
Oh,
Um,
but always, we're
but
always working.
baby steps, and it was good. I noticed the difference this year for me, and so I'm proud of myself for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I hope the photos brought you a little bit of that.
Absolutely. All the compliments, right? All the affirmations that come with it.
Amazing. It makes such a difference. It's just not pretty photos only, right?
Right.
It's about you positioning yourself and being visible in a
Yeah.
way that aligns with your business and what you do. And I love it. It gives me goosebumps. I'm
It's
like,
so
oh my God.
good.
So that's the key point number one, right? Is like, okay, let's celebrate our wins. And that's also going to be part of the workbook. You're going to do some reflection and like individually, like just like write down your wins and all this. But then the point number two is not as exciting because it's a little bit more uncomfortable, which is the challenges that we had this year, right? And thinking about your challenges, I want you to look at them not from a place of judgment, not from like feeling guilty, like, oh, I made this mistake, or this didn't work out, or this was wrong, right? So it's not about that. It's not about judging and being hard on yourself and like, I tried this and this didn't work out, but from like wisdom, from what you can learn from what happened and what you did, right? And once you understand what worked and what didn't work, then you can avoid those mistakes, right? And evolve, right? And do better, right? It's really it doesn't make any sense for us to keep repeating the same things if they're not working out, right? We need to tweak, we need to make some smaller changes. So it's the whole idea of the obstacles, the things that happen, the obstacles you faced being like a lesson, and sometimes we get tired of lessons. I don't know about you, but Sometimes it's like, life, what are you trying to teach me right now? So it could be challenging also, when if we don't look at this as a learning opportunity, right? But, you know, whatever challenges you have, they are going to be your greatest teachers. But that only happens if you reflect, if you look at them and think about what went right and what went wrong, right? Because that's how they're going to like reveal the patterns and opportunities that can shape your next level, the next level you, the next level Melissa, right? Is there anything any challenges that you faced in 2025 that you feel could tell you something about how you're going to move forward in 2026?
Yeah, and I think it'll go with my goals, just more of working in the business versus working on the business, right? So I spend a lot of time with people and being out, but there's part of the working in the business, right? Being consistent with my social media, be consistent with my newsletters, like just the back end administrative part of it, which is time consuming, right? Because we're not out and in my business, right? We need to be meeting people, we need to be talking, we're working with our clients, and so the admin part sometimes is the back burner, so I definitely want to be more intentional, more consistent with
Mhm.
that part of it to help grow.
Mhm. I love that you said intentional because one of the things that we do is like, oh, New Year's resolution. I want this, and then we list these things and we say, oh, consistency, right? But if it's just consistency, just for the sake of it, it doesn't really work,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So it has to be aligned, it has to be intentional. And consistency doesn't mean like like posting something on social media every single day. You know, you can make consistency like the way you want. Like, what does it mean? Like, what does consistency mean to you? Is it
yeah,
how often you show up? Is it how you show up? Right? And for me, it was something that I learned. Like, I can't play the algorithm game anymore, like trying to please
yeah,
the algorithm and whatever, however it changes so often all the time. I can't do that. I can't play that game, right? So what does it mean to me to be consistent, right? And go from there and so that it flows a little bit better,
yeah,
right? Instead of
yeah,
like that pressure. And we're gonna talk about this. I can't remember if it's day 2 or day 3, but we're talking about this, about being intentional when you make your plans, right? I think we do put a lot of pressure on ourselves and like, oh, next year I'm gonna post this, I'm gonna do this, and that comes from this feeling of like there's something lacking instead of like I'm excited about this, I'm excited to share this,
yeah,
right? And I think that's when the shift happens and it feels a lot more aligned and a lot easier to do as well.
yeah,
So yes, so that's gonna be um the biggest thing, right, for us when we're learning from challenges as well. And then jumping to the third point, which is the gaining the clarity, and this is what you're talking about as well, right? When we do all this reflection, when we think about what went wrong and what went right, it brings you back to your core. It brings you back to your like your mission or whatever you want to call this, but your why, if you want to call it your why, like why you do what you do, right? What is the why behind your brand? Because I do think we get so caught up on like, oh, social media, I need to post, I need to do this, I need to do that, that we kind of forget our why and what our mission is. And I feel I had like a lot of it. it's happened to me multiple times, and it's like it's always that moment of like, okay, let me come back to the core of my brand, my mission, because it's very easy. You get opportunities, you meet people and you get opportunities, and you start like, oh, all the shiny objects, right? And you're like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. And then suddenly you're like, oh, this is not even aligned with why I started my business and brand anyway. So why am I doing this? Right. So I think coming back to your clarity, your direction, your brand voice, and message, I think that's what's going to bring back to your energy. And then the consistency, the planning, everything will make more sense. Right. If you that's the first thing you need to do. You need to be clear on who you are and who you are becoming, right? And I think that's the main thing. Like, if you don't see yourself as that person that you want to become, it's like your body you're not gonna feel it's possible, right? You're gonna have like a disconnect there, like, oh. So you need to, like, the self-image, and that's why I think the photos, like, that's what I do, because then you see yourself differently, right? With those photos, like, that's the best version of me, right? And then when you start seeing yourself as your best version, you start believing, and your body is like, okay, this is possible, right? So it's a lot about, like, having that goal, and like, this is who I'm becoming, this is what I want, and this is where I'm going, towards, and I feel I can, because I see myself as that person, right? So that's why I think photography and the way I do it, I think it's beautiful because of that, because we see ourselves that way, right? And it gives you more like, oh, I can do it, right?
Yeah.
It makes it easier.
It's kind of like I was reading this book on, and it's tying in. It's definitely with your photography and what you do. It's like manifesting, right? It's in a not that this is manifesting, but like the practice of manifesting is to visualize, to smell, to see, to picture it actually happening, right? And like you just said right now, I think is like when you take those photos, you're seeing the best version of yourself. You are in the image that you want your clients and your customers and your people to see, right? And so it's definitely what that just what you said right now.
Yeah.
It goes, it's hand in hand, right? If you present yourself and in the photos that you provide for us, right? It
Yes.
does give us a sense of confidence, right? And a belief that anything is possible.
Yeah, and it's not magic.
Yeah.
It's not magic. And a lot of the times we think that, manifestation is like this magic thing. I don't see that as magic. I see as a belief, like you believing that you can. And then when you believe, you do the things that need to be done because you believe, you're capable of that, right? And yeah, I mean, the photos, that's exactly how it works. And if you think about the photos, I'm the photographer. I'm not making magic there. I'm not photographing something that doesn't exist. It's like it is you, right? It's you and the best version of yourself. That's like planning the photo shoot and then doing the shoot. Like this is all you. I'm just guiding, right? Uh, People, especially women mainly, to kind of see that in themselves, right? So it is not magic. It's not something that I do like it's a magic thing like my camera does. No, no, it is you. So sorry, you're muted.
I say your work is magical. You do magic.
But it's just because of you, like,
Yeah,
I think the
absolutely.
magic is getting this out of you and like
Right.
helping you show up who you already are. I'm not I'm not necessarily changing people. I'm just helping them see who they already are. So I think that's beautiful. And that really is my mission. And every year that gets even more like clear, you know, when it comes to like what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, because I do feel like I feel it myself. Like when I started, before I even discovered personal branding, like I didn't have photos of myself. I didn't, and now I have my own photo shoots where I get in front of the camera and I know how awkward it is. But it also like it gives you, I don't know, the whole planning, the whole what am I gonna wear, what outfits, align with who I'm becoming, right? And I think that's how it works. And again, it's not magic and it is a manifestation, but in a way that is, you see yourself that way and you're like, okay, I can do this because look at me. Right. Um, so yeah, before you do anything, so this is day one. So we're doing all this reflection. So before we move on to like our brand audit and the planning for next year, we need to kind of sit on this reflection and like saying what worked, what didn't work, what is your why, and what you want to bring, more of into next year, right? So today it's all about awareness, right? So because we cannot, I mean, it's really hard to lead a magnetic brand if you're disconnected from your own wins, if you don't celebrate your own wins, right? And if you disconnected from your lessons and your evolution and how your brand is evolving, right? Because it is like when I think even like last year, when I compare my brand this like last year, well, last year, I mean, yeah, going into 2025, I notice a big change and I'm excited, you know. Um, so what we're gonna do tomorrow, we're gonna go deeper into the identity of your brand and in alignment with your brand and business, so that you know it helps you, the clarity that you have on your mission and the visual and what people can see, right? So they are connected. This is what we're doing tomorrow. So it's very important to get this work done today so that tomorrow we can connect them. Do you have any questions, any comments, anything you would like to say?
No, but I really, this is a great start, right? I think having us sit and think about and reflecting the good and the bad. I shouldn't say bad, but
Yeah, exactly. I was
the
looking for
good
a better word.
and what and the next steps or what needs improvement, right? It's
Exactly.
definitely a way to, and
Mhm.
I like the idea of adding clarity to my path for success in
Yeah,
2026. So
because if you don't know where you're going, right? I
yeah,
mean,
because we have so many ideas, right? There's so many things. I mean, you see you see so many entrepreneurs, or and it's like, oh, that looks nice. Oh, but yeah, and I think it's going back to what you said. Out of all these options, what ties to you, what connects with you and your brand and self, so I think I'm excited
yeah.
to,
We do
yeah,
we
to
do
hone
that a
in on
lot,
it.
right? Like, oh, this is what they're doing, this is what they're doing, and I'm like, oh, but that's not really aligned with my mission, with what I
Yeah.
am, who I want to become. I don't want that,
And
right?
just like your personality, right? Like what works for somebody may, but that's their personality and it's great. But
Yeah.
that might look weird for you because that's not kind of the person that you are,
And it's
And
not gonna feel authentic. Like
yes,
people, it's not even gonna work because people are gonna look at that and like that's not, there's
that's
a
not who you are,
yeah,
right? So being authentic, yeah, I like that you just said that word, right? I want to work
authenticity.
on authentic branding. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's very important. Like there's so many people sometimes doing the same thing that we do. I mean, lots of realtors,
Yeah.
lots of photographers, right? So what makes people want to work with you? It's your personality, your brand, your beliefs, right? Your values. And that's what I want for myself as well, right?
Yeah.
So yes, I'm
Yeah.
excited. So I'm gonna send you the workbook
Okay.
um, that you can either print if you have a printer, so you can write, like there's space to write on it. Oh, I can even So this is the workbook and the part that you'll be doing. So we're going to be focusing on day one, right? Reflection, the foundation for growth. And, there'll be there's a little text and then the action. Action one, two, and three. So if you focus on that today, then you're ready for the next step on day two,
Okay.
right? So you can either print because you have space here to write, or you can, read the questions and take some notes on a separate piece of paper, right? Um, but this is what it looks like.
Nicely done. It looks nice. Yeah.
Thank you. It's one of the hats that I have to wear, right?
Yeah.
Designer. And yeah, you can delegating, and getting people to help us, it's also like a great idea, but I do feel, and it's something that I might have to change at some point, but I do feel like, oh no, but I'd rather do it myself.
Right.
No, because it's more like, I don't
Because
know.
you have a vision, right? And so it's
Yeah.
like sometimes it's having to sh somebody else being able to articulate that vision to someone else and then
Exactly. It feels like it might be more work than
yeah.
I actually do it myself.
Yes.
But we need to work on that. That's going to
Yeah.
be the next thing to work
We'll
on
add
that.
it to our list for 2026.
Yes, delegate. Let other people do it. At least the design, right? The
Yeah,
design. Yeah.
exactly.
Um, so thank you so much, Melissa, for being here. And everybody who's watching the replay as well. Let me know. You can always send me questions, like send me an email, reply to the emails that you received from me, and let me know how it goes. And yeah, get ready for tomorrow. I'll be here at the same time. Thank you, Melissa.
Thank, thank you so much. It's been great.
Yes, thank you. Bye. Have a good one.